A while back, I quit social media because I realized I was addicted to turning off my brain and turning to the escapism of swiping, escaping from the problems of my life and the world around me. I've always been a ship in a storm, without a port but with favorable wind, and these days I feel like I have neither, a little bit directionless. In this video, I'll detail my escapism and what it looked like and how I resolved it. First, let's identify where we turn to when we want to set aside reality. For me, first and foremost, it's been dating apps. Swiping on beautiful women, matching, dating, and sleeping with them has become one of the most destructive loops I've ever engaged with. I haven't met a woman IRL in years, which is not a healthy trend. Set aside the financial and emotional toll taken from going on sometimes 10 dates a week, the time sink is truly unforgivable. And it's often at the end of the week, a Sunday night while I'm laying in bed, that I wallow in the realization that women were effectively a second full-time job for me this week. Like, oh shit, I spent 50 hours with women. It's especially insidious because when you have a beautiful woman in your arms, it's impossible to tell yourself that this isn't what you should be doing with your time. It feels like it's the best possible use of any given hour of any given day. Only after the fact do I realize I've betrayed myself and I had to put my real priorities on hold so I could disconnect from the world with the company of a woman. The second piece of this puzzle for me has been Instagram, which is far less insidious but far more pointless. I resent the time I spend on that app so much that I believe my daily average view time is directly correlated with depression. If I go over an hour a day, I seriously question myself. If that average hits 3 hours a day, I know that I'm heading in a very dark direction and probably a depressive episode. 3 hours a day, that's 21 hours a week, 1,092 hours a year. Broken into 40-hour work weeks, that's 27 work weeks. Pissed away for nothing. At least when I bury my face into the loving embrace of a woman, I gain emotional sustenance. At least when she plates me a delicious meal or sucks me into another dimension where I briefly sit with Odin and Buddha, at least my base needs are being checked off. But on Instagram, it is the most unforgivable type of misery, pointless misery. Now that I've identified the issues, let's discuss resolving it. On principle, I won't delete these apps like Instagram. I wouldn't be able to respect myself if the only reason I wasn't using the app was because it wasn't on my phone. And in that case, I wouldn't have actually resolved the underlying issues of the escapism, and that escapism will just find another route. Instead, I leave Instagram on my phone and practice the willpower to not open it. And if I do, sometimes without realizing it, because sometimes it becomes a habit. You just pick up your phone and open it because you're bored or whatever. And I quickly bring myself back to reality, I get a grip, and I close the app immediately. This process is slow and painful, but clawing back self-control and correcting a bad habit is always slow and painful, so there's nothing you can do about that. Dating apps, this is a little bit of an avoidance mechanism. The best way to fix it is just to get off of the dating market. And the best way to do that is to either let my work consume me and then use not having any free time as my shield to block me from using the apps, or my preferred method, pick one of these great women that I meet and just have a relationship. And that's what I've been doing for the majority of the last 12 months. So it's been quite a while now since dating apps have had any kind of grip over me. Ultimately, the source of my desire to escape is a mix of feelings, as it is for all of us. Some kind of culmination of unfinished business. In the words of Dr. Jordan Peterson, the secret to your existence is right in front of you, and it manifests itself in all those things you know you should be doing but you're avoiding. So the only way to fix this is to jump headfirst into what you're avoiding and either realize that character growth or have the courage to fail nobly. Doing nothing and letting time slip by is the only unforgivable option. So how have I addressed my screen time and turned a potentially crippling weakness into a strength? YouTube. I sincerely believe that YouTube trumps all other applications, including Google. I mean, why Google an ad-ridden article when you could watch a video explaining the same thing in exceptional quality and detail? I was in high school when YouTube was birthed into existence, and since then it's been my #1 time sink, my default before any movie or series, before Netflix or any video games. And through rigorous discipline, I am very proud of the fact that I have curated my YouTube subscriptions and that they are, on the whole, quite positive. Educational even. I actually think at some point in the future, we'll have systems, probably AI systems, that analyze the totality of our engagement with the internet. And the result will be some kind of score that indicates a person's natural curiosity and their dedication in the pursuit of that curiosity. I, for one, I know I'm willing to dive down endless rabbit holes of history, science, technology, and economics. Hell, there's a channel for World War I that's about 150 hours of content covering every single week of the war. I've watched it all multiple times. One of the new skills in this modern world that didn't exist even 25 years ago is the self-control a person needs to exhibit in their curation of the content they consume. Let's be real. If you dump thousands of hours into cat videos or videos of people falling down staircases, understand that you have chosen to expend that time in a pointless way. That is, as a matter of course, self-destructive. Because while you don't have to consume the same stuff I do, we don't have to have the same priorities, what you're listening to or watching or reading, you know that there is something out there that could be a greater benefit to you, and greater benefit than yet another cat video. No matter how adorable their stupid little faces are, they're not moving your life forward. You're not making progress. Look at the results of your algorithm. They are yours. You are entirely at fault if the results of your algorithm are low quality material. If it's high quality material, then congrats. You've made your choices, your engagements and lack thereof. Now take ownership of that result and begin mindfully steering that ship in the direction that will result in pride upon reflection of time spent. If you suddenly snap into it and you realize, oh, I just spent the last 4 hours on social media. Well, if your social media is all science or technology, history, architecture, software, a million other interesting topics that make you a more interesting person, well, then it's not really time wasted, is it? But if you snap into reality and you realize, oh, what have I even been doing for the last 4 hours? Thank you for watching till the end. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Let me know in the comments section which app has been a struggle for you. Take care.